when we also become capitalistic. Because capitalism also perpetuates self. That selfishness creates an ecosystem where, as you pursue your passion, you are also helping. And as the other person pursues their passion, they are also helping. And that is the basis of the market. I keep repeating that we usually say that it is not out of the benevolence of the butcher that we enjoy meat every day. It is also not it is out of their selfish interest to make money that then we enjoy our bread and we get a place to buy our meat. And that is what I am here to call all of us to be. The reason is that we are not foreigners. Sisi ni watu wa Kenya, wengi wetu hapa. And even if we are not Kenyan, some of us, we have been around. There is a time when, as a doctor, you'd be booked by your employer while still in campus. But now you are graduating to start looking for your employer. So things have changed. And I am here to just briefly say that maybe there is something we can do about that. Instead of graduating, chasing for employers, probably there is something we can do that even as we graduate, our frame of mind is not about chasing for that employment opportunity. It will be for first creating ourselves some opportunities, but also more importantly, also creating for some. Because all the economies that we would want to run to now that we are graduating, to get greener pastures, they were not created by politicians. They were neither created by those who graduated to look for jobs. They were created by those who graduated, took some risk, did something around creating an opportunity, did something about being employers, and thereby created an atmosphere and a multiplier within the economy that everyone then wins. From India, which is coming up very well, to the earlier economies like the US, UK, and China, they are all created by that mentality. And it doesn't matter whether you went to school to study business. It doesn't matter whether you went to school to study economics or anything around money. The people even in the Forbes list, majority of them never went to school to study business. They are exercising that right of doing business, not because they started business, but because they realized that the arena of business is open for everyone. When I was invited, I was curious to look at, probably, are there medical doctors who are billionaires? I've told you that's my passion. Kusoma Forbes list, kusoma Fortune, kuzata nyinyi nikiwaangalia mnapenda pesa. Hakuna mtu hapendi kukaa maisha mzuri. And I found something exciting, which is probably a point we can carry on. Maybe not to work around it now, but to remember it in future, to activate it. I found a guy called Dr. Patrick Soon Siong, who is worth now around 5.8 billion US dollars. What is he doing? He is in pharma, APP Pharmaceuticals. I found another one called Dr. Thomas Frist, close to 30 billion US dollars in terms of net worth. What does he do? Founder of HCA Facilities. I think it's a chain of hospitals. And the third one, Dr. Philip Frost, around 2 billion US dollars. What again? Pharmaceuticals. What's the point I'm trying to drive home? That a doctor seated here, between you, let's talk about Kenyan shillings. The ones I was mentioning are USDs. Between you and $1 billion shillings, there is something that is peculiar in all the three. That the opportunity that you want to explore must be scalable. Whatever opportunity you want to explore in terms of business after you graduate and thereafter must be able to use more brain than yours only. Must be able to use more hearts than just yours. That's why you see pharmaceuticals. What is very peculiar there, or a point you can take home, a business that is scalable, that you can scale in terms of size and in terms of production. Many facilities, something scalable. And I'm saying this because I don't think I'm talking to people. Start a clinic, call it Dr. Steph Clinic, and that's it. I don't think that is what we have in our mind. Even if that is there, I think what is in our mind is, even if it's a clinic, it is actually not even in your name, because you want to create something scalable. If it's Dexter Lemashon, create Lemashon group of facilities within the health sector. Those who are in pharma, I think nothing is more scalable in this sector than, of course, pharmaceuticals. As I go to the finish, and I think I have said about those things. I have said, yes, I'm a business person, investments. But I have also not been able to distinguish between when I should look for money and then when you should start enjoying the money. And because there is a very thin line, I would want to implore upon all of us, even as you think about making money, make money through something you enjoy doing. So that you are already in holiday, you are not making money then to enjoy. You are making money as you enjoy. You may have heard about a story. I do something called private equity. You may have heard something called hedge funds in the US mostly. So there was one hedge fund who visited a country around the beach. And that guy, who was a dollar billionaire, came across a fisherman wa net, and a fish na net peke yake. Then this guy, being a hedge fund, they think about flyer, how you can scale this, to that, to become bigger, of course using a lot of jargons. So he told this guy, now instead of being a fisherman, you can come, we invest in your business, then instead of using the net, you can take some boats, then you start a big company for fishing. I'm not trying to undo what I said before. And then this hedge fund guy told him, after you are done, you then can start enjoying your money by going around the beach, swimming, and of course basking. Then this fisherman told this guy, what are you telling me? This hedge fund, let me just repeat, was telling this fisherman, scale this business fine, instead of the net, look for a boat, after the boat, more boats, after that, start a fish company, then after that, after you make money, after you make money, you don't do, then you enjoy later. Second thing, as you think about business and entrepreneurship, always think about funding. That is what lacks among many of us as Africans. In the US, you start an idea, you get people, venture capital, you get private equity funds, not just banks to borrow. Doctors, my brothers and sisters, in this room, there are Kenyans with the highest IQ. You cannot afford to graduate and then, I didn't want to say you go work for people with low IQ. I didn't want to say that. I'm just trying to say, we have the best brain in Kenya in this hall in trademark today. And if that is the case, the same effort you put in the technical side of medicine, just to put it that way, use the same brain and might to investigate. If you start a small company today, whether in med, whether in whichever area, especially within your arena, how do you access funding? There are many people out here looking for opportunities to fund. It is now upon you to refine your idea and know where these people are found. That intersection between your intelligence, between your brain, between your high IQ, the intersection between that, and now you being a doctor who is a billionaire, is for you to get proper funding early enough. And proper funding is not just going to the bank to take a loan. There are people who can come, invest your idea, they get a stake, and then you propel the business together. Very lastly, I know we can't start where I'm talking about. We may need to start from somewhere else, and then gradually we reach there. And as we do that, let us not block our mind from the many avenues of multiplying the little money we may start earning as we graduate. Don't think that the issue about investing is coming so far away from today. Please, start it as you get your first money. And there are many investment opportunities. One of them is the NSC, Nairobi Securities Exchange. And I'm saying about it representing all the other stock markets across the world. And I'm not talking about something I have read. It is something I have done. I started investing in stock market when I was in first year in campus. And I am calling upon all of you, when you graduate, open something called a CDS account. These things may seem like just jamani zile vitu tu tunaambiangwa kila siku. But as you graduate and you get your first money, get a stockbroker, open a CDS account, know what investment in stocks and shares is, and start early. Learn about the other investment arenas there are and opportunities, the passive ones. Start early. But I have just mentioned NSC, representing New York NYSE in the US, representing NASDAQ in the US, representing Lagos, NGX in Nigeria. You can make much more money passively than you can make money actively. I have made more money by other people working in the company I have invested than all the money I have made with my own hands. So you can multiply the retro you start with faster as you progress. Help me. I asked my brothers and sisters who came to my office this question. And that is what I'm ending with. I am just leaving it as food for thought. Some of you may want to transition to policy and politics. I invite you, because we need the kind of brains in this hall, even in leadership. We need not just billionaires. Billionaire is for you, but now for the country. We need MPs, members of parliament, to come out of this hall today. We need governors. One of the critical devolved function in Kenya is the health. Now, I know nowadays I was being told by your colleagues that even to get a job in a county, you need to cough some money. Now, even as we transition to that, please, some of us in this hall have to become governors. So that even as we complain about what other people are doing to us as the professionals in the medical field, let us become some of those people who will turn things around. In this hall, therefore, I am sure they are governors. And of course, Kenya has never had a president who is a doctor. Ama hamtaki hiyo? Unfortunately, hamtaki. Yet. But what am I trying to say? If you look around this hall, that's the point I'm trying to make. Something alarming I have noted as a leader. I was invited by the engineers around a month ago from UN. Now I am here. something that is troubling my heart as a leader, that these very refined and sought after courses like medicine, like engineering, is gradually, and you forgive me for this, I'm just saying it as a leader from a rural constituency, is gradually becoming out of reach for many Kenyans. And I tried to do a sample. Like here, if I ask anyone who was in a day school, please write, let me see by the show of hand. Anyone who was in a day secondary school anywhere in Kenya. Please rise up. Musiogope, sio aibu. Wewe huku kuna kitu kingine nimesahau kusema. Sio hizi days za Nairobi. Sisemi hizi akina kama wewe ulikuwa gani wewe? Sisemi group of schools. Nasema a day school somewhere in a rural place in Kenya or in a town. Anyone, please, by show of hand. Anyone who attended a public primary school, please, by a show of hand. Now, as people who have high IQ and who are transitioning into becoming leaders in Kenya, this is not a very good picture. And I say so because currently in Kenya we are hearing about the government being able to sponsor free basic education. This is already indicative that the government cannot drop the ball now. That we should not be talking about whether the government will fund free basic education. We should be talking about those from families who are not very well off. When they get a chance to do medicine, we should be talking about how the government will step in fully to make sure that there are doctors from those kind of backgrounds. And therefore, the confusion currently in government, the demographics are already too bad. We cannot make the demographics worse than it is now. Free basic education must continue to be a right. Sufficient funding. Sufficient funding for comrades in all the universities across all courses must be to a level where whatever is left for the parent to do is affordable to all the households in Kenya. Na hayo mengi, asanteni sana.
Thank you so much. Wapi makofi ya mheshimiwa? Mheshimiwa anasema udance.